What is up, my beautiful human beings? And welcome back to another episode of the Stay Rad podcast. You already know who that guy and why the heck you're here. So, shall we get into it? Yeah. Guys, I'm so excited to start this podcast series. One, because it's a friggin' series. Like, I know you guys peeped that, right? Like, whoa, different cover photo. What the heck is this all about? What's she about to go into now? Well, y'all, this series is all about like really fucking empowering you and really fucking like expanding the fuck out of your consciousness and your awareness so that you can truly like start to see your life differently and start to make more aligned moves, I shall say, towards becoming the best version of yourself, right? And doing what you were meant to be doing here on this beautiful fucking planet that we all share. You guys know I've dropped like universe school here and there in the episodes, and just to prove to y'all that I am not the only fucking person in universe school and that I did not make it up and that Lori Bolin is real and that everything that I talk about is fucking real. I am bringing a very special co-fucking host on this podcast, bitches. Yes, and guess who it is? A motherfucking classmate from universe school, and we are coming together to pretty much just tackle this series together. We both felt an energetic pull towards this, so we were like, fuck it, let's do it. So I'm super hyped to introduce to you my co-host and my classmate and my friend, woo, Elizabeth. Bring it on in, girl. Bring it on in.
Hey,
Hello.
Nay! Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to collaborate on this series with you. Yay! That was such an awesome
Thanks,
intro.
girl.
Gotta
I
love
gotta hit you up. You know,
Nay.
we gotta come in strong with the energy, especially this episode because it's
Yes,
specifically about energy and how to work with yours, right?
exactly.
Yes.
So I like to believe that people who are tuning in have already had an energetic resonance to check us out, to check out this series, to check out what is this? Because there's been so many things changing in the world. And a lot of people are like, it's sort of like ascension or spirituality has become like a trend. But
For
then
real.
people are like, what is it? How do I do this? What is energy? What does that mean? And so Nay and I are here to clear up some misconceptions, but also to help you ignite that flame or maybe plant that seed of discovery within yourself so you can start reaching out and finding a way to navigate the new world because things are changing, y'all. Things are changing.
They are changing. Yes.
Yes.
1000%. And before you guys are like, oh my gosh, okay, cool, but like, Nay, who the heck is this person? How the heck did y'all meet? And what's going on? Like, how are you even together? Well, first, beautiful human beings, I met Elizabeth through, I guess, a mutual friend and teacher who I will always talk about on this podcast. You guys hear me say it, Lori Bolin. She is pretty much both of our teachers in life. And I like to call it universe school that we're in together. And yeah, so if y'all
Yeah.
thought that I was making that shit up and I was pulling all this crap out of my ass, I have physically brought a real human from the same experience as I into this podcast to continue this conversation just about your energy and what to do with it.
Yes. Yes. Lori is amazing.
She really is.
She's a very gifted soul. And we've had such a pleasure of learning from her and growing in our own individuality and ascension process on our own. So it's been such a journey. And then we get to meet a lot of like-minded folks, which brought Nay and I together because we are just vibing the same. But that goes to helping you understand, like, here's the first way we can segue into energy, because everybody knows that there are just certain people that you like to say vibe with, and it's really your energetic presence. But some people will get feelings from people and be like, nah, and then sometimes people will be like, oh my gosh, I cannot get enough of that soul. And there's a reason for that, because we are all energy first. Always, everywhere you go, we are energy first. And that's why sometimes people will, their anatomical nervous system will kind of fire off when they're in a place they shouldn't be, because it's like the universe saying, yeah, get out. Let's
Yep.
go. And some of us are keen to that, and some of us are like, well, I'm just gonna hang out and see what happens. And then they're like, why is my life terrible? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe what you had did. So we're gonna get into more of that and talk about that for sure. But yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about today.
Yeah, and it's so true how you can get like the heebie-jeebies about a situation or about a person, right? The same way that you can experience the complete opposite. And that's like is specifically true for me at least. Like I am someone who can really feel the energy with others. And when it's like when you're working with someone who is resonating at the same frequency as you and you guys are very similar and like even how you speak, how you the thoughts, right? Just like the energy behind it. When I know that I'm speaking to someone of like the same, my entire body just like tingles in such like a great way that I'm like, "Oh my God, like I'm gonna
Yes.
explode from how happy I feel."
Yes. I love that. I love that. It's like that energetic
Yeah,
resonance. So you just bounce off each
exactly.
other. And
We just bounce
that's an
off each other.
amazing thing.
It is. And the
And we
same
want to pay
happens when
attention
you're
to that.
yeah. Have you experienced like the same for the opposite end though, where like someone's presence walks into your presence and you're like, oof, like that gut feeling, or just like a
Yes.
weird vibe.
Yes. Well, 100%. And that's where you learn to protect your energy. And we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about energy perseverance. We're going to talk about observation over engagement, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of different things that we can do to protect our energy space, because we need to,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're new to this and this is something that's becoming more eye opening for you. Then, of course, we want to simplify it to give you some simple things to do before we really divulge and level into what we know and want to share with you. Because sometimes if you go right for the dessert, you miss all the savory food in the middle. So we want to try to
Mm-hmm.
get the appetizer, the main course, the dessert, and the wine.
We're doing this
But
European style,
so
honey.
we're just
Many meals.
okay, 7 courses of
7
energy,
course.
we could call it. I don't know if it's
Oh, I love that.
exactly,
Oh
exactly,
my God, that's amazing.
exactly.
Dude, that was so good.
But what we want to, the universe be doing things, girl. But
Clearly.
what we want to, but I think what Nate and I want to start off with is what is energy? Like
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean to you? What does that mean for you when we say you have an energetic presence? And we try to share it in terms of like getting into situations or being with people or being in an environment or going to a club and being around people and you're like, ooh, no. And then you have to take a step back, or you kind of get like those spidey senses in a way. And
Mm-hmm.
that's your energy kind of reacting to the environment and reacting to what's going on. And it's trying to tell you, hey, no, no,
Mm-mm.
no, no. And I'm sure that there's not a soul listening that cannot relate to that statement, or hasn't had an experience that can come to mind for them where they can be like, oh yeah, that's familiar to me. That
Yeah.
has happened to me.
Right. And if you
And
are
that's
that
kind of
soul
where that
who hasn't experienced that, open your eyes up, open your ears up, and be more aware of your fucking surroundings because you're not aware right now. If you don't feel nothing, nothing,
correct.
nothing, ever, 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 are you even paying attention through life? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes there's those people, at least me,
Absolutely.
I lived like that for a very long time in my fucking head. So I can hear or see anything in the real fucking world, you know? And that's like step number
Right,
one for
right.
awareness, too. Like, that's huge. Get the fuck out of your head.
Exactly. Girl, we could do a whole series on get the fuck out of your head.
I'm
But we'll
saying,
definitely get there. We'll get there in this
yeah,
series for people so they have an understanding, because people, part of your energy presence is what you mind. And a lot of people don't correlate that, but we do have an energy connection to things that we don't let go. We won't let
yeah.
go, or we can't let go, or we feel jaded, or we feel wronged, or we feel discriminated against, or we feel that was unfair. That was just unfair.
Hmm.
And all we want to hold on to. is the energy of that circumstance or situation that was unfair, instead of not minding it, taking it as a lesson and moving our energetic space into something different. But it's hard to do, especially if you're not aware of how that works and what that's actually doing to you at your core.
Right.
So there's
So
that also.
I heard you use a term there that may be unfamiliar to some of the listeners, not minding it. So like how do you not mind something you fucking feel? You know what I mean?
It's a tough one. I think that a lot of us, want to, be, you're kind of, let me retract that, because I feel like as a society, we're kind of groomed, through education and, through religion, we're kind of groomed in a way that this is how perpetually you're supposed to live, on this planet. This is how you're supposed to be. And so people don't realize that that's sort of like like a mindset that keeps people under control. We like to talk about how, certain things control you. Like we like to talk about how the news controls you, and how, holding on to violence and holding on to certain circumstances could put you in that same space. But think about it. If you are constantly, in a grief of something or at a loss of something, you're an energy source. So guess what you're going to continually draw to you? That same thing. And people are like, I don't understand why this keeps happening. And I want to say, okay, stop right there. What are you constantly minding?
Mm.
Where is your energy? Like, do an energy check, like a microphone check, 1 2 1
Ooh.
2. Do an energy check. Ask yourself, where are you? Where is the main, the main contagious energy of yourself going? Because 9 times out of 10, you're minding the fuck out of the situation that you didn't want, or the lesson that you were placed into, and now you're in a loop.
That is so
How do I get
true.
out of that loop? You got to stop minding it. Well, if I don't mind it, then I'm not gonna come to resolve. But we put
Right.
so much emphasis on righting wrongs, and we put so much emphasis on, well, I need to be justified. No, the fuck you don't, honey.
Honey.
No, you don't, honey.
Honey.
But it's hard. It's hard because you're like, well, then I'm not. I have to be a voice for others. No, you
No.
don't. This is your life, your lesson.
Yep.
You don't have to be. You don't have to share that with other people. You don't have to be the voice for others. They can be the voice for themselves, and you can see it in observation and energetically be like, that's not mine. But we're trained to feel like we have to contribute and we have to put in. And that's where it gets confusing, like with collaborating and collaborators. Well, isn't that, well, aren't I collaborating? Yeah, but you're not collaborating on the right energetic field.
Mm. Mm.
Because energy wise, or even frequency wise, think about your energy as a frequency.
Right.
So if you wake up every day and you got this Jimmy Jam going on, you're like, yes, you woke up, you're happy, you're dancing, like I did this morning.
Me too, sis.
Did my little Jimmy Jam dance,
Yep.
my little
Right.
happy thing,
Making
and
some eggs.
did it all of it, like, hey. all of it. So you want to keep that sort of like woohoo throughout the day. So when things come into your role or come into your presence that aren't like that woohoo, are you allowing that to change you, or are you still staying woohoo?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean about energy.
Facts.
That's what I mean about where is it going? What are you doing with yours? That's the best way for me to try to get people who don't understand to understand.
Yeah.
And then from that, it's what you do with it. What are you doing with your energy? Where is it going? And 9 times, I mean, I don't think I've learned that there are some people on this planet who have the blessing of not having any inner
Oh, I
thoughts.
know. Me
They have
too.
none. They have no inner
I
dialogue.
know.
And I'm like, bitch,
Right? You're like,
I wanted to be born with no inner dialogue.
wait, you don't have that voice inside
Because
yourself?
how? Because here's me when I'm
Literally.
driving. Oh, that guy's not stopping. He's not stopping. Oh, no, he didn't stop. Like, that's me all day. Or I'll be in Starbucks, like, what do I want? Oh, that's good. Yeah, let's do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a whole person. Like, I'm talking to my higher self on a daily.
Same.
And then there's people who don't. But I think there's a vast difference between doing it in a way that's positive and doing it in a way that's negative. So that inner dialogue, that inner voice is really what I'm talking about, that puts you back into that energetic frequency that's not serving a purpose, y'all. It's not. It's not serving a purpose.
It's just
And
wasting
you
your
have to tell it,
energy.
silence.
Yep.
Ooh. And then so I like to tell people, I'm sure that everybody's familiar with that Sims game.
I
They
love
got that little
Sims.
triangle above its head.
Yes, I
And
love
Sims, right?
Sims.
So you know how your people are in trouble because that diamond is getting low. So think of yourself every day as a full diamond, and you have to be very careful about who am I going to give this diamond to, because that shit's precious. I could be on the streets and need to pee, and I'm going to piss my pants because my simulator can't get me to a toilet.
Wait, Elizabeth. I love that. Yo, that's an amazing way to put it. The fucking diamond is so precious and you can't let that shit get red. Like, be mindful of what you're doing in your day because as the Sims, energy only lasts so long. Like, that battery gets smaller if you don't make this shit take a shower, eat some food, get some sleep. Like, it's the same way for humans.
Yes,
Why do you think it's called the simulator?
exactly.
Like, where the fuck did
Right.
they got
And,
it
and
from?
and and honestly, this matrix that we live in is a simulation, but we don't want to I don't want to turn people off right away because I really want to educate everybody's mind. So we'll slowly get into that, but I'm going to
Yeah.
give you a little sliver of the direction we're going in, because if this
There you
resonates with
go.
you, you would not be here.
Amen. You would not
So
be here.
there's
Yeah.
that. And also there are no coincidences.
No,
So
none at all.
that's you were meant to stumble upon us today, and you were meant to engage in this series because the universe is like, hey, I've been knocking, y'all ain't answering, I'm done. Now I'm just gonna start popping up things in your
Yep.
vortex so you can
And
be
you
like,
see,
oh yeah,
exactly.
copy that. I
Exactly.
think the universe has a sense of humor. And I think Nay and I have both just talked about this, previously in our friendship, about how the universe has a sense of humor. And
Yeah.
humor is my deflection. So I like to rock and roll with a little bit of laughter because it
Same.
eases people
And
into,
myself.
like, oh, okay, I can get down with that.
Yep.
But do not believe for a New York minute that universe is not on it.
Mm.
That universe is like, yeah, did you listen? No. Are you going to do this? Yes. And you're like, damn,
Yep.
son of a mother.
Son of a mother.
They do not play. The universe does not play.
Mm-mm.
And because there are no coincidences, this goes back to, well, why am I in a position to feel defeat? Why am I in a position to feel grief? Why did I have to experience that loss? Why did I have to go through that breakup? Why did my boss have to yell at me like that?
Yeah.
Why do I have to feel less than?
Right.
Because that's the energy you're choosing to keep, my loves.
Mm-hmm.
That is the energy you're currently tuning into, and that's the frequency. And let me tell you about that
Exactly.
frequency. Ooh, because just like there's light, there's dark, and just
Mm.
like there is angels, there's demons, and just like there
Mm.
is shadow, there's light. And let me tell
Facts.
you how shadow is like, oh, I got you, I
Mm-hmm.
got you. and then and then it feeds off that frequency
Yep.
that you're playing in, and you're not even realizing that you're potentially keeping yourself in that space. And shadow's like, whoo, bitch, I got you. I got
Yo,
you.
one
And the light's like, yeah,
thousand
did you want to get out?
fucking
And
percent.
the universe is like, hello, did you want to get out? And we're like,
Right.
I don't know how to get out. And they're like, first of all, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Oh, I feel sorry for
I
myself.
know what to do. Yeah, my life sucks. It's like, all right, stay down
And then
there.
you're crying. And then you're like, I don't even know what happened. I lost my job and now I can't pay. And I lost my car. My tire went flat. And I'm like, why do you think that is happening, love?
Right.
You're in a frequency of doubt and insecurity and
Mm-hmm.
and lack. So of course the universe is going to be like, well, if that's all you're going to think about, that's what I'm going to show up for you, because I don't know the damn difference. All I
Right.
know is, where's your energy go?
Exactly. Like, what do you want? What do you want more of? What are you focusing on? Because that's what I will give you more of. It's so true. But
Absolutely,
people don't like to hear that.
without a doubt.
People don't like to hear that. They think it's just
Oh
rainbows, magic, and it's
no,
just, you attract only the things you want. But it's not true at all. And you're a fool if that's what you believe. And here is your wake up call. You attract whatever you fucking put your focus on and whatever your energy is resonating at. So like Elizabeth was saying, if you're rolling out of bed and you're like, Fuck, I gotta go to work. I fucking hate my job. You're dragging your feet. You're rushing out the door. You're fucking in traffic cursing and everybody's cutting you off and you just have a comment for everything. Like, don't you think, like, at some point it has to hit you like, wait a minute, this has to be me now. Because you're almost like predicting and manifesting your future in that moment, energy wise, with all this crap coming up, because that's all you ever want to fucking talk and think about. So, no fucking shit, like at all. And I know it's
Snaps for day. So hard. So hard. Snaps for day. It's so hard. So, hey, why don't we talk about what can people do to help them stop getting those thoughts to have control over them? Like,
Okay, so
what is
one,
something that you know?
yeah, I will say that first, be super fucking patient with yourself, guys, because this is something that I've been working on for literally 3 years. And it's still like, I'm not 110% there, but I'm 100% fucking better than I was 3 years ago. And that's the difference. And one of the things that we both
Were
learned from Lori, our mentor, our friend, is kind of like the shut the fuck up and the no mind method. And that's literally, you have to catch yourself in the moment when you're thinking those thoughts. So, like washing dishes, right? You're washing some dishes and you're thinking about, all right, I gotta fold the laundry. Okay, what's tomorrow? I gotta pack the kids' lunch. Shut the fuck up. Why are you doing? Try and
right,
catch yourself. The most important part is to catch yourself, right?
correct. And then when you do catch yourself, you find a focal point.
Yes.
And I mean, I do not care what your focal point is at all. I could give two shits what you're putting your eyeballs on, but you
Right.
put your eyeballs on and you just take some deep breaths and tell yourself, no, 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 shut the fuck up. Nope,
Shut
I'm
the
not
fuck up.
doing that. Nope, nope,
Yep.
just keep doing. Eventually that pattern breaks because you are in control of your own energy space, so you do
Hmm.
ultimately have the power. But it's so easy to just succumb to our programming of what you know we've all been taught to do, or we've all been led to do, especially with our family members, and what kind of like you are what you see type of thing. And then you realize, yeah, that shit didn't work for my grandma.
Mm-mm.
No, it
Mm-mm.
didn't, honey. So it's not gonna work for you, boo boo. but
So
but it
true.
takes a minute, and it's sometimes, I mean, I have walked around my house screaming like, shut up, I'm
Me
done.
too.
Seriously, slapping my
Yep.
legs. I have bruised my leg from punching my leg so hard because I was like, I swear to God, I'm not doing this one more minute. I am
Yep.
done. And then you're like, okay. And then after you find your focal point, like you recalibrate your energy. Don't think for a second, if you're vulnerable, the shadow's not like, I'm about to get that. Because I'll be like, oh, no, no. I see you rolling. You hating. You riding dirty. We ain't doing it. We are not doing
Girl.
it today.
No.
Or any day, girl, bye. But but none of this comes without work.
Right.
And the thing that we've grown accustomed to in this society is, just give it to me. Just give me the answer. Well, just do it for me. Wasn't there a spell? What the? No.
Right.
Bitch, you are the spell. Handle
Right.
it.
Exactly.
Like, you
Bitch, you
are
are
your
the
own
spell.
spell. Handle it.
Wait, Elizabeth, we
I
need to
mean,
make a
think
t-shirt.
about it. But if
We need to make a t-shirt.
yes,
Bitch,
girl, we
you
got
are your
merch.
own spell. I love that.
Bitch, you are your own spell. And the bag will be like, handle it.
Yes, it's me and you.
Yes, because okay, because there's a lot of and that gets us into a whole nother topic of like a ton of old school modalities that with the transition of the new earth and how the world is progressing, like those aren't working anymore, babes.
Right,
And people are like, oh, but I get it, but I'm getting it. And you could, I mean, I would not be in disbelief if energetically you saw a little shimmer. But are you seeing it continually, consistently? Are you living large? Are you
right.
are you are you are you doing everything you need? No. And some people, well, I'm fine with that, but no, 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 no,
You're
babes, you're really
not.
not. You're really not.
Mm-mm.
And that's a whole nother part of what we're going to learn in this series. About like manifesting, like tarot cards, of oracles and different things like that. Why we want to move away from that, and how you don't need anybody else to tell you that you're powerful, boo boo. You were born with it, like Maybelline. Maybe she was born with it. Maybe it's your energy. Just
Maybelline.
saying.
So true.
Exactly. So that's the purpose of this series, is to ignite that flame of understanding in you, to get you to a space where you can start, so we can start working you towards having an understanding of what we know, and what you're really born with, which really is, we're in a matrix, and if you don't think that you're born with a code, yar. but we're
Yep.
gonna peep into that, but we're really gonna get into that later, because in order
Yeah.
for you to understand the icing, you got to learn the ingredients in the cake.
That's
So
fact.
that's kind of where we're at today, is just giving you a little bit of insight into your energy, so you can start working on not minding, and you could start putting yourself into that energetic space of acceptance and a positive frequency. So when we start talking about these other things, you're going to be like, that makes so much
Yes.
sense. Oh my gosh, I relate to that. And then you could start progressing in your own world, because every single one of you are capable of anything: being a millionaire, writing movies, writing books,
Anything.
anything. Every single person that hears our voice today, there is no limitations. The only limitations are those that you put upon yourself, my loves. So knock it off. But and it takes time, and we live in a society that we want instant and direct results. And honestly, Nay and I, we're still learning. We're still
I hope to
growing.
forever learn.
We're learning. Yeah, we might be at a different level than
Yeah.
you, but do we want you at our level and above? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I want every single one of you to shine shine bright like a diamond. Every single one of you. Every single one of you. Because energetically, let's raise the vibration of this planet. Let's go.
Yes, that's what I always
Because we
say.
can.
That's literally like Elizabeth and I's mission with this series, and fuck it, just this podcast is just to empower the fuck out of every single human being that feels called to resonate with our words, so that you can start operating off your own frequency. Because from the moment you've been born, I've said this almost every fucking episode that I have recorded so far, from the moment you have been born, unfortunately, there have been so many other frequencies of other people's opinions, lives, past, history, traumas, triggers, fears, anxieties placed on us. And we were almost molded into something else. But underneath that mold is a fucking diamond. And we just gotta keep fucking cracking until we burst the fuck out of there, and you truly are shining and resonating with that beautiful fucking energy you were born with, that somebody else covered up.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
I love Snaps Renee. So true. So true. So beautifully put. Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So the goal in listening to this today, and the biggest thing that I feel that we would like you to walk away with, is understanding that you do have control over your energy space, the space you keep, the space you choose to give away, and what you involve yourself with. Which leads me to this. Listen, people, you do not have to have an opinion on
Mm-mm.
everything that goes around you. You do not have to have an opinion. Think about your opinions as the little slivers of diamonds that people can sweep up and make a super great diamond, because you don't want to do that. You want to keep your diamonds for yourself. So if you're
Yep.
interjecting your opinion, or you're interjecting and asking, somebody's telling you, oh my God, I had this bad day, this terrible thing happened, and you're like, oh, what a jerk, oh my God, yeah, oh God, he's such an idiot, da da da, zip it, listen, hear them, and then say, oh, okay, well, good luck with that, or I hope that works out for you.
Right.
We don't have to know details. We don't have to know, what time was that? Well, did he call you? Well, did he text you after that? No, because it doesn't affect our life.
Right.
So don't do it.
Right. And that could be a hard
But we want
thing.
to be BFFs to everybody,
Yeah.
because there's such a significant on friendships. But I tell you, when you start this journey, your friendships are not going to be the same.
Girl.
I promise you.
Girl.
And that's okay. It's
Yep.
okay. There's nothing wrong with
That's
that. And because because the universe is going to direct you towards your
mm-hmm.
people. So maybe some of the people that you're hanging out with aren't your people. And once you realize how to observe energy and how to have energetic preservation, you're going to start realizing, Oh no, I cannot roll with that.
That's so true, and you can't be afraid to rock alone
No,
for a little bit until you find your people. Like, I was
no,
rocking alone, and I just kept telling myself, "Just
yes,
it's fine, keep going, your people are coming. It's because of energy, like, you're no longer
yes,
vibrating at that frequency." And then I met my star family, and I'm just like and and it clicks because it's like, yo, we're all on the same page, we all have this deep understanding of ourselves and, like, what we want with the planet. And that shit, I could never really connect with my other friends. And so it was, like, rough kind
right.
of, like, seeing that ending, but I knew that something greater was coming. Like, I knew that I was just moving on with myself energetically, and that's okay. Like, that's okay.
Correct. Correct. And it's the same. I just want to make this point too, because I think it's important too. When people are sharing experiences with you, you don't have to share an experience that
That
you had that was similar with
yep.
them. Sometimes energetically, people know that you're just a safe place and they're coming and they're going to vent
Mhm.
and you're going to be like, okay, but, and just, just understand you're holding a safe place for them, but not necessarily saying to them, oh my gosh, I agree. That happened to me in 2004. And that, no, do not energetically mix your energy with that.
So
And and sometimes when people come to you, you may have to be like, I'm so sorry, I can't, I can't hear this right now. I got to take this call and you got to step aside. You're going to energetically know
yep.
whether you can hold a space for them or you got to bounce. And it is okay to bounce because what people think of you is not your fucking business, people.
Amen.
It's
Not your
not
fucking
your
business,
business.
and it's not your fucking
Not
problem.
your fucking business.
It's their problem.
No, no. Because 9 times out of 10, let me tell you something about people. 9 times out of 10, if they don't like something about you, it's something within themselves that they're projecting that they don't like. It's not even about you, boo boo.
We are mirrors.
Ain't even about you.
Mhm.
And you can't hold space for that. We don't got time. Just be like, all right, you got some work to do. I'm out.
Yep.
I can countless of times. Like you meet people along the way, and I used to always want to hold space for people because I was in a line of business that required me
Yeah.
to. And now I'm like,
Mm-mm.
oh, honey, no, babes.
No.
You don't need me or Jesus. You need some self interflection, and a lot of that poor me needs to get buried in the backyard
It
with your
does.
ego, because we'll talk about those two bitches too.
Yes.
In this series, you're going to hear about your ego. Oh, are you going to hear about your ego?
Ooh, and it's not gonna like it.
We're
It's
not
not
going to
gonna
talk
like it.
we're not going to talk about your ego today, because then you're going to get information overload and you're going to be
Yep.
like, I can't come back, but
Gonna
you
be like,
want to come back because
oh, of course.
that is one of the key things to do, is to bury that bitch in the backyard
And I made an
and
episode about that.
bury your.
So if you guys have not listened to
Oh, good job.
my bitch that was buried, then go back and check out that episode so
Okay.
you can hear who the fuck I
Yeah.
buried and why I buried that. But yeah, we will also be bringing up more on this specific series so you guys can get an understanding for both me and
Correct.
Elizabeth because we're two different people. So we have two different
Oh yeah,
experiences that still kind of resonate with the bigger picture.
for sure. We just happen to vibe real good. But
Yeah.
I will tell you, another bitch I had to bury in the backyard was my worth. I had the significance of worth and how I
Mhm.
viewed myself. And I would be so mean to myself. And how can you be mean to yourself and then expect people on the street to value you or want to hear what you have to say and let it resonate with them if subconsciously you're like, I hate the shirt that I put on. I gained 10 pounds. I
Yeah.
look, like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck
Shut
up.
the fuck
But
up.
that, right, because some of us grew up with family members who wanted to talk about our weight or wanted to talk
Mhm.
about how tall we weren't or how short we are or how our hair isn't blonde or how our eyes are blue, and then we hold on to that, thinking that, oh my gosh, I never got to please that person, I never got to please, and then it destroys you from the inside, and it does change your energy
It does.
presence because we don't think of anything other than allowing that, because that's the trauma that you grew up with. But that was just to make you stronger, boo boo.
Mhm.
That was for you just to pull up them boots, pull up them big girl panties, and be like, "Fuck you," and the whole idea of. But it's so easy to think. Like we think if somebody doesn't like us back that we're a bad person or
Like
we're a
our
horrible
fault,
person,
right?
or if this guy or this women that this guy or woman that we were attracted to doesn't want to date you. Well, it's got to be because I'm 20 pounds overweight, or it's got to be because, you know, my teeth are crooked. And
Right.
it's not. It's the
Mhm.
universe being like, but you better run. I don't know
Yep.
what else I got to tell you.
Yep.
Do not chase the man that, or the woman
Mm-mm.
that didn't want you. But we like to do that because we want to feel like, oh, that's the way of proving that I'm okay. No, the fuck it's not. Shut the fuck up. Sit your energetic ass down. No.
Sit your
No.
energetic ass
But we see
down.
people do that all the time. Sit your energetic ass down. So, girl, I have to be saying that sometimes. Sit your
I love
energetic ass.
that.
Where are you putting your, and where are you pouring your energy? Sit your energetic ass down. No. Lord of
Mm-hmm.
mercy. I can't be following you around all day, Lord. Oh, jeez.
Mm-hmm.
But I can. But the thing about this exchange is once you hear us, you're going to hear us. You're going to hear us. So you might hear my voice, you might hear Nay's voice, you might even hear Lori's voice. But let me promise you, it is always from source. And the universe is like, bitch, I'm a ghost. Yes, get it. Because it will pop in whenever it feels necessary to pop in. Because it
So
does.
true.
Because the universe be like, I see you. I'll be like, oh, I see you. See me.
I see you. See, she see me. She see you.
Did she see
Yes,
me?
I
Yes, I see
see
you.
you.
See me.
We have to make it
I
real.
swear that's the universe. I swear that whole skit is the universe. I swear. I'm like, because sometimes I'd be like, oh man, because you know how like you have those moments you're like, I really don't want to get out of bed, and then you hear that voice, get the fuck up, what are you doing? Oh God, why are you always here?
Yes, why are you here?
You live in my world, dummy. Get up. Yeah, all right. You're
So
right. Let's
true.
go.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so that's exciting. So I hope, you know, like you guys got a good idea of energetically what it means when we talk about your energetic presence, when we talk about energetic observation versus getting in, and when we talk about how to hold your space and keep your sim diamond shiny, because we don't got time.
Yes,
Okay.
right. So true. Yeah, hopefully you guys have
Yeah.
learned some already just about your energy, or if not learn, have become more aware of how precious your energy is, and the fact that you yourself are energy. Like, imagine just this ball of just glowingness that's like pure fucking love, right? Pure love, pure brightness, pure just a feel fucking good ball. Like, you are that ball that's just traveling through the world. And you need to be very mindful of the people that come into your, what's that called? Like aura and space? Isn't like
Space.
your aura or your energy like 7 feet long or something like that? I feel like Lori said that one time. Like,
Yeah.
something like you have
I
like
think
seven
that,
feet
you know,
around you that people, when some, that's why when someone comes behind you, if they're in it enough, you can
you
feel
feel
their energy. Yeah. So you have to be mindful
right.
of what comes into that space for you, because when you see a bright, shiny, beautiful fucking object, there's gnats out here. These motherfuckers are like, "Whoa, I need that. I've been wanting that. And let me gravitate
Yes.
to it." And you have to be very careful, because I was someone who was just like, here, have it all. Go ahead.
Yes.
And then I was like,
And it, yes, it can drain you, but there is like you know, the universe will direct you sometimes, because you know, I've always, through the course of my lifetime on this planet, you know, I've always been somebody who strangers will come and tell things to, just out of the blue. Like if I'm in a grocery store, you know, I'll get a nudge, like go stand in that line, and it'll be the longest damn line. I'll be like, really, I just needed ketchup. And then you go stand in the line, and then the gentleman's like, you remind me of my niece back and blah, blah, blah. And then they want to tell you the story, and then they want to hug, and you really made me feel better. And that's what I needed to hear. So
no.
sometimes our energy is really used for a purpose to remind other people of their worth and where they're at. You know what I mean? The universe will prompt us in that way, especially when you learn how you are an energetic being and you become more of that space. Then you sort of are a lighthouse
Yes.
in a way, you know, and the universe will use you in that way. But you know, essentially, I love that, because I've always believed even long before working with Lori, that we are trust fund babies of the universe, and that when we are prompted to do these things and these, you know, these kind of coincidences happen, the universe always has this perpetual kickback or this perpetual reward. And it's not something like I go to my car and I'm like, okay, I stood in that line and I bought that ketchup, where's my free Starbucks? Like, I don't ever do anything because I want something for it. I don't ever do anything because I want the notoriety. I don't give two flying fucks about notoriety. I don't give two flying
Right.
fucks about any of that. What I do care is somebody who needed a message got it, and
Yep.
somebody who was in a lower energetic space had an opportunity to be in the presence of somebody who worked in a higher energetic space, and they were able to be like, okay, I am having sad thoughts, or I am having bad thoughts, maybe I do need to change that, you know, because then they'll think like, wow, you know, that person didn't have to do that, I have worth. And then their life changes, their direction, their trajectory changes for them. You know, the more that you elevate and ascend, the more these experiences are going to happen, because that's why we're here.
I like that you said lighthouse because that I
Yeah.
feel like that is the best way to describe it, and that is truly how I feel about my energy. I've noticed, like, now, you know, looking back in your life, I've noticed that my energy has always made those around me, even without even saying a word or trying to even have a conversation, like literally just standing in the room. I noticed that I have like that capability of almost just naturally lifting everybody's energy else up. And they just feel so good and they don't even
Yes.
realize what's going on. But just it's like a byproduct.
Oh, yeah, like Lori talks about walking into a place and kind of owning it, and it's not, she's not being
No.
cocky, and she's not being like, oh, look at me. It's just that's what naturally happens. And this is why you got to stop negative
Mhm.
thoughts and really get into a good space, because let me tell you, all eyes
Hmm.
on me, like a
All
center
eyes
of a
on
ring,
me.
like a circus. because, because I promise you, whether you intend to or not, that's what happens. And I have gone to Kroger because I got two looks, y'all. I either look together or homeless. There really isn't much of an in between
Same.
for me. And I have been in my homeless stage at Kroger and still had the audacity. The universe had the audacity to bring people into, you know, bring, because there's no coincidences. And I'd be like, really,
Mm-mm.
that is what I get. I didn't even
Yep.
put any lip gloss on, dear Lord. And I don't care. And maybe that's what prompted that person to feel comfortable to come up to you. Like,
Yep.
I don't know why the universe does what it does, but sometimes the universe be like, don't you dare, go on, get to the store. And you're like, okay, because that's what you're prompted to do. So you get to the store and you go, and then you're in the aisle, and then this person's like, hey, do you know where to find the blah blah blah? Because it's never really about the blah blah blah.
Mm-mm.
Ps.
Never about the
And
blah
then
blah
you have
blah.
this exchange, and right. And then you go home, and like, in for a moment, you're like, oh, I should have put the lip gloss on. And then you're like, no, that is not how I was supposed to look.
Mm-mm.
And that is not how I was supposed to be. And damn it, I'm beautiful. I do not care. Go on. That's how it goes. But see, some people are like, I could never leave the house without my hair and makeup
Right.
done. I'm like, girl, you haven't lived if you haven't been to Kroger in your slippers.
You
Have you
haven't
even
lived.
lived? I mean, you can find me on that. The people of Walmart, I'll be like, yeah, bitch,
That
that
was
was
me.
me on Thursday. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine because I was there for a purpose and it's all good. You know what I mean?
Amen.
So you will see when you start preserving your energy and you start really having a strong understanding of what your energy is and what it
Hmm.
does and what it can do for other people, then you're going to start not giving a fucking. It's all going to just roll out the way it's supposed to for you as well. And the little
Amen.
things, those little lovely things that the universe does to remind you, thank you, they're beautiful and fun and spontaneous, and they come out of nowhere. And I'm always like, oh, I got that. I know that was you. And I
That was
love that
you.
feeling because you are a trust fund baby of the universe. You really are. You are a trust fund
Hmm.
baby of the universe. So how are you going to preserve that? How are you going to energetically stay in that space? I want to be in that space because it's a beautiful place to be. But
It really is.
energetically, it took me a
Yeah.
minute to really understand, because you know, I can remember Lori, you know, Lori never really pissed me off, but Lori would be like that come to Jesus, you know, where I'd
Hmm.
be like, motherfucker, you
Damn.
do that, like that like click point realization, like wow,
Yeah.
or point it out and then you don't realize, and then when you start paying attention to what you're doing, you're like,
Yep.
I do that. son of a
Yep.
mother. Then you're like, all right.
Mhm.
You're like, dang it. Now, ladies, yeah. Because we're shaking like a Polaroid picture.
I'm dead.
But yeah, I mean, then you learn, because you are never, and the universal school doesn't ever end. It's just like the universe doesn't ever end, y'all. It just keeps going and going. So does your growth and ascension process and your learning and your discovery of self. It never ends. But
Nope.
the first place to get there and the first level of that understanding is understanding energy, pure energy,
Yes.
because we all are. Some of us want to
Everything
tap,
is.
some of us want to tap in. Some of us tap in and out. Some of us breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
This girl
And some
could
of us
do
are
it
like,
for
could you
days.
stay still? So, like, Nay and I just want to get you guys all on the same energetic page. We want you to experience what we've been experiencing. We want to share this message because it is such a beautiful message that it's accessible to everybody. The universe does not care. You're here. You remember why you're here, and then you learn, and then you go, and then you're like, yeah, no. Then you'll instinctively be like, that's not for me, and I'll be like, that's right. Keep going, keep going, keep going,
Yep.
keep going.
Keep going.
It's a beautiful
Amen.
place. It's a beautiful
Yeah,
place.
it
It's a
is.
job. Just like they tell you marriage is a job, being in a relationship is a job, your responsibility and your ascension is a job. Like nobody gets anything handed to them, but you get your ass handed to if you don't lock it up and drink some act right. I trust you. But
And let me tell you, it's a
but
hard fucking job.
it's
Like there are no days off. You don't get off at 5 p.m.
nope,
You don't have any
nope,
sick
nope,
days. Like, bitch, you in it for life.
no.
And the only time is when you're not in
That's
it
it.
is when you are 6 feet under. You should always be in it.
Okay.
Always be in it. That means you're always growing.
That's true. Well, yeah, that's a perfect point, Nate. You always want to be in it. You always want to be in that
Yeah.
energetic space. I think the more that you become aware and the more that you expand your personal awareness and you really understand what that is, the more you'll get a nudge. Like it's like this magical pull that the universe does with you. And it just kind of like pushes you in a direction. And it's really beautiful how it works. But, you'll get more of that. And then when you try to go back to your old ways, you'll feel
Mm.
that pull. Like what are you doing?
Yeah.
We're
It's like
not
you
doing
go
that.
off
And then you're
track
like,
a little. Yeah. And the universe is
yeah,
like,
they
bitch,
they
the
like to
railroad
push
is
you.
straight.
No, they're like, girl, do not make me fly down and beat you with some angel wings. I'm like, right on.
Right.
I got you. I got you. Sometimes I always feel like those universal sightings, UFO sightings. I'm like, oh, my people are
Mhm.
fucking up.
They're out to get me. I
They
ain't
gotta
doing
come
something
down and be
right.
like, hello, what are y'all doing? No.
Right.
I'm like, okay, right on.
Oh
Copy
my
that.
goodness.
Let's go. So for sure, for sure.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah. So
That is awareness. That is preserving your energy. Is I would say like are your first homework assignment, your first job, your first daily intention, your first duty to start this process until we meet again on our next episode. So I guess to kind of like wrap things up for you guys, um, your energy first. Energy is literally every fucking thing. You are a Sims green diamond. You want to maintain that green diamond. Don't give it out to just anybody. Be mindful where you put your energy source, where that beautiful ball of energy. Be mindful of where you're putting it to in thoughts, in feelings, in actions, in whatever else, because you are attracting. Law of attraction always working. That bitch do not take days off. She is working
ooh,
around the
she be
fucking
listening
clock.
24/7.
24/7,
24/7.
right? 24/7. The other laws be like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, that law of attraction bitch, she working again 7 days in a row. Yeah, she don't take off. Always at the
Ooh,
office.
we don't want to talk about her sister Karma either. Okay.
We do not. We will bring karma up
She
on
always be
another
listening to.
episode. But
Ooh,
whew,
yeah, because
karma
they don't 24/7.
24
Karma and the
fucking
laws of attraction
7.
be vibing in the same way.
Oh my god.
They're like they're like keep it up. Keep it up, because
Yep,
I got
go
something
ahead.
for you. And you're like, oh
Go
yeah,
ahead. We watching. We
I
watching.
deserve that thing.
Yep.
Right? You're like, I probably deserve that, but damn.
I know. I know. Oh my goodness. But yeah, guys, so
For
be
sure.
super mindful of your energy because you are energy first and so is everything else around you. Be mindful of your internal thoughts. So the first thing would be to catch yourself in the moment, start screaming, shut the fuck up. We know that it's gonna be uncomfortable, it's gonna be awkward, you're gonna feel like a fucking psychopath at first. Guess what? We felt the same fucking way when Lori told us that she randomly
Uh-huh.
screams out loud, shut the fuck up, in the middle of the grocery store, anywhere she's at, whenever she has to. And people have literally looked at her like, is this woman insane? Yes. But at the same time, it's all for a reason. And sometimes
For
you have
sure.
to like you
For
have
sure.
to look, you got to do what you got to do to get to where you need to be. And honestly, fuck what anybody else thinks because it's not about them, it's about you and where you
Word.
need to be. Like, who gives a
That's right.
shit? And if they have something to
That's
say
right.
about you, guess what? That is their problem to deal with, because when you realize that there's no difference between you and the person sitting next to you, in front of you, across the fucking world, you'll never ever fucking judge. So if someone else is judging you,
Word.
they see a difference, and that difference is within them, not you.
Right. Right. And people reject what they don't understand. And that's
Exactly.
okay. That
Yep,
it's
it's
not
okay.
for you to, you don't have to explain.
You ain't the
If it
teacher, not
resonates,
your
it does.
job.
If it doesn't, then okay,
Right.
peace out. Unless they keep coming back, and then you're like, listen, this is what you need to do. And if they don't do it, it's not. Listen, you can lead the horse to water, but you are not going to make that bitch drink it.
Mm-mm.
Okay? That's it. That's
Mm-mm.
it. All we want to do is lead you to the water. Drink the water, y'all. Just drink the
I
damn
suggest that.
water. Get up on it. It's life changing. But you have to want to do the work, and you have to feel led energetically to in that space. And like Nay and I know, most of you that listen to this are already in that space,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, okay, next level, let's go. And that's what we want to do, because we got
Yeah.
so much more to share with you. We have such a journey that we want everyone that this touches to be a part of, because you all are beautiful souls, and you all have an opportunity to have a really positive, happy life. Life is not supposed to be this hard at all. And we just want to
Right.
show you the way and get you there, because that's what we can do. That's what we're supposed to
Yeah.
do.
Exactly. And
And it's
don't take
exciting.
the little things for
Times.
granted. Like what what when we were kind of like first starting this journey, Elizabeth, I don't know if this is the same for you, but when Lori first kind of told me about shut the fuck up and the no mind method, I took that for granted so much because I didn't realize the power behind it. I thought it was so silly. I was like, this isn't gonna fucking work. I really have to do this shit every fucking day. Can you just give me an algorithm? Can we just like move forward? And let me tell you, I wasted, even though time is an illusion, I just wasted opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to truly grow and raise my energy up. And I wish, I mean, it's all a learning method, so I don't change anything.
Oh,
But
for
I guess
sure.
for you guys, like, it may sound silly, but let me fucking tell you, it's the first fucking step that you need in order to get over here. You cannot get over here as well
Yeah.
without completing the little basic fucking shit, because that controls so many bigger things, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, everybody's journey's different, and that's okay. But yeah, I really feel like sometimes, like, you're going to hear things from us that you're going to be like, absolutely not. That's no, that doesn't resonate with me. And that's not the truth. And then over time, with your diligence and effort that you put in to your energetic preservation, you're going to realize, oh, I didn't want to hear that, because, maybe you didn't want to hear that because Shadow knew it had a strong hold on you on that subject,
Hmm.
and wanted to try to tell you, you don't have to do that, because it's literally feeding off your energy space that you're holding. So you have to be mindful that Shadow works in a lot of different manipulative ways, and they like to make you think you're not worthy, that this is how it's supposed to be. Don't believe them. That's not where you're supposed to go. Stay in your space, because ultimately they're absorbing your
Yep.
energy. No. And that's why you have to be like, shut the fuck up. No.
Yes.
You have to kind of be like, no, and aggressive about it, because then they know the energy presence knows its place. And I promise you, personally for me, I was very low in my ECI when I first started working with Lori, because that's just where and I have worked in a field that I used a lot of that energy, not darker energy or evil. Don't take it that way.
Yeah.
But I it was just more or less like I played both sides of the fence. Like I knew about both sides of the fence. And so they had a way of manipulating things for me where I had to be like, okay. So I had to discern a lot. I had to discern a lot and be like, no. Oh yeah, no. So there was a battle for me in terms of, them, like Shadow trying to, convince me that Lori wasn't the right way, and I had to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Shut up. But it took a minute because it really tried to work me, and I thought of it in a way of not that I'm special, because I don't want you to think of it that way, but I thought of it in a way as, well, you must be something very special for them to be that scared that you're learning shit that they don't want you to know.
Exactly.
That's what helped me realize, yeah, no, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Like, what is it that I'm going to learn that you're trying to keep me from, is kind of is the mindset that I had and getting to the level of progression that I'm at now, because I was like, oh no. no. And I don't have those feelings anymore. I've ascended out of that, but at first, it was a little tough, and it will be for you as well, our listeners today, because sometimes it's not the same for everybody. Everybody's journey is different, but I want to share that with you, because I don't want you to think that we just walked into this and everything was super great, because that's not true. We had to work our butts off to get to where we're at, and we're sharing that with you, so there is a reward and payoff from doing the work, but you got to do the damn work.
You got to do the damn work.
Sometimes it sucks. Yeah,
it does. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it really hurts. Sometimes it will cause more stress in that moment, but that is where you learn and apply the lessons in which you were taught for those moments, so that you cannot feed it, and you can continue to see the other side of those decisions.
Preach. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because Elizabeth and I have
This
both
was
gone
so
through
fun,
it.
eh?
I know.
Oh,
It's
God.
exciting. This is so much fun.
Look, when when you talk to people like, girl, you've been through it. Girl, we have been through it. But we're not going to talk about that, though, because it doesn't matter what we've been through. What matters is where we're at in the journey, in our process of ascension, and getting everybody else to where we're at, because that's the most important thing. Everyone's got a story. We all got a story. But don't put energy into that. Put energy into your now, and your energy into today, your energy into what this beautiful future you're going to have that'll unfold for you.
Exactly.
That's what Nay and I want to see. We're all like, we'll be your hype crew. We'll be like, yes.
Yep.
Snaps for everyone. Let's go.
Snaps for everybody.
Because there's nothing more exciting than, to me, there's nothing more exciting than seeing people, awaken to their potential. Because we all got potential, baby.
And it's so beautiful to see everybody living the same happiness and seeing life in the same light that you do. And at the end of the day, I think what literally majority of human beings truly, truly, truly want, even though sometimes it gets disguised in occupations and luxurious items, but I really do think at the end of the day, the main thing we all truly want is complete, absolute freedom in all single aspects of our life. Freedom from a schedule, freedom from following rules, freedom from money. We want financial. We just want to fucking be, right? So start making moves that align with that energy.
Right. And we can talk next time about how money is an energy.
Yes.
And how we be abusing this shit, y'all. So we could talk about what that means, what that looks like for you, why you're in scarcity, why you're in an energetic, space of like worry and concern, and what does all that mean. But first we got to get your energy right. Then we get you into those other spaces. But you can't learn all the information in one podcast. That's why Nay and I were so excited about doing this series. It's just to get you an increase, just see that plant that seed and you watch you cultivate it and learn and grow. And that's really what we want. And teaching you little key pieces that resonated with us so strongly with Lori is going to help you on your road to discovery and learning about how we can teach you how to speed that up, because there's a whole way, but we're not going to talk about that today, but we're going to get you
There's
there.
a whole way. So, Elizabeth, can you recap in, I guess, the best way you think they need to hear how to slay your energy? I guess in like three, four basic steps. So, like, what are the three things that are super important to take away from this video, if anything?
For me, and in my daily energetic existence with the universe is, I wake up and I do truly visualize that I have a diamond, that I'm a sim, because we live in this matrix of a simulation, so that's what resonates with me and makes sense with me. So so sometimes I stop myself to be like, do I want to give away or chip away at some of my diamonds for this experience? Because everything is an experience, and I'll catch myself and be like, I don't want that experience. I also will check if I get resistance, which we really haven't touched on, but we'll touch on next time because it's incredibly important. And resistance is sort of like when we talked about our spidey senses, how you get
Yes.
that feeling like I shouldn't do that. That's what we know as resistance. You know it as maybe your intuition or your intuitive navigation system. We know that that's just universal resistance, because the universe is like, bitch, don't you dare. And you're like, copy that. And you don't, but you have to
You
preserve
don't.
that. So that's one of the first things that I do. Wake anytime that you have, some of us have health issues. We have arthritis. We
Mm,
have, we've hurt ourselves. We have ulcers. We have migraines. So when those kind of health things arise, it's not like you're going to get an immediate resolve with it, but I try not to mind
mhm.
it. So finding something to do, keep yourself active in a way. Don't just wallow in it and go lay down and be like, oh God, I feel so bad. Find something to do. Like keep yourself busy in action. Do and thank you. They're like, action, Elizabeth. I'm like, I got it. Sorry. That's when they're yelling at me. Like, we're just wanting to do an action. I'm like, I'm sorry. So we have to do an action. So an action to counteract that, because guess what an action's going to do? It's going to get you to not mind that, and maybe the action that you were prompted to do is actually going to help you feel healthier anyway. So
Exactly.
keep that in mind for yourself too as well. The other thing is focal point, breathing, and saying shut the fuck up. It's so
Hmm.
incredibly important to not put yourself in that position to feel like it's going to win. Like I always feel like, I'm not a competitive person, but I kind of sometimes I can be. So when I get feelings like that, I'm like, oh no, you ain't winning today, boo. Shut up. So I view it that way, just to keep that variable, shut the fuck up, shutting up. So, and you got to do it. Whatever tricks of the trade you need for you, do it. As long as
Yes,
you're not letting that impeding thought
exactly.
absorb your energy or pull you away from the frequency that you belong. So anytime you feel like you have to find that focal point and take those deep breaths and get your mindset out of that space and back into that shut the fuck
Mhm.
up, that's the best way to start this journey, is to really start to get a handle and manage your emotions first, so we can start guiding you towards the other things that have been brought into our awareness, and that we're learning and we're growing from, because we all need to know that you can have a beautiful, outstanding life, because that's why you're here, y'all. Just got to remember where you came from.
Exactly.
But it takes a minute. We got you
We
though. We
do.
got you. Don't worry.
Yes, beautiful. I think those are great points.
Nay, it's been so fun. Thank you so
It
much
has.
for allowing me to collaborate with you.
My pleasure.
I love this. That one of the best things about being an energetic presence is being able to collaborate and do these wonderful things with so many beautiful, amazing, talented people. And I'm so lucky that you chose me to be on your podcast and to work with
Ditto.
me. I'm so excited to work with you in collaboration to help get this word out and get people where they need to be, because I'm excited for everyone listening to have an opportunity to change their life.
Yes. Me too, Elizabeth.
Yay!
Thank you so much. Folks, you heard it here. Shut the fuck up. Focus on what you want to grow and find a fucking focal point. We will be back
Yes!
whenever the universe prompts us to come back for another amazing episode that expands your awareness even more. And yeah, go fucking enlighten the
Yes.
fucking world Go be that bright, beautiful fucking star that you are, and go spread love. Much love to every single human being out there listening to this, especially you, Elizabeth. Thank you so, so, so much for just dedicating your time to this episode.
Much
And yeah, alrighty,
love.
guys, we'll see you later.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.